Hold on, we ain't trying to get copyrighted. Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? Yes, sir. A random pop-up live. Hold on, let me get my chat right. A random pop-up live. Immediate post-fight reaction. Hold on, let me see what they talking about. Yes, sir. Shout out to MICHEL Rivera. Shout out to Frank Martin for actually giving the fans this type of matchup, bro. You don't see this all the time. Two top flight elite level competitors putting their undefeated records on the line in the prime of their careers. You don't see this often. Let me see what Frank Martin talking about. Shout out to my brother Frank. Shout out to my brother Ricky Williams in the building. What's good? My brother Murray in the building. Skinny Too Lit in the building. Mr. OG Mr. Money in the building. What's good? Hold on, let me see what Frank talking about.
Talk about the relationship you have with Derek James throughout the night in between rounds, giving you incredible instruction.
Incredible instructions. Y'all heard that? I just posted the video. We talked about this.
Those instructions and what you've been able to accomplish now in Dallas under the tutelage of unified welterweight champion Errol Spence.
Hey, Texas, we got the best boxers in the sport right now. That's facts.
Well, in the corner, Derek was just telling me to, stay on the outside, work the game plan, look out for the right.
Shout out to my brother Jay Cooley in the building, RB's in the building. Shout out to the Queen Boxiana, the Menace in the building. What's good, man? Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Queens of the Ring. Shout out to the Queen Nick J. What's good? Appreciate y'all. Shout out to my brother Punch Perfect Boxing in the building. What's good? Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Mr. DeMar 777 in the building. Yes, sir. Texas, we got the best talent in the sport right now. That's facts.
That's right there. Protect yourself at all times.
No question. Collectively, we got the best talent in the sport. Hey, make sure y'all hit that like button as you slide through as well. Go ahead and hit that like button for your boy. I appreciate it. Shout out to the brother Damon Harp in the building. What's good? Said Bud want Texas barbecue. He don't want shit. Let me hear what my boy Frank talking about real quick. I got y'all. Hold up.
I believe in myself. I believe in my team. We know we doing outside of the gym. I mean, when we in the gym, we working consistently. Outside of the gym, I'm doing my own work.
Big facts.
We believed in it, and we just believe that we ready for any of the top fighters. So, give them to us. Let us get them.
Big facts.
How important is it for you to be in the gym with the unified welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. and the first undisputed 154-pound champion?
It's invaluable.
It's a blessing, they keep me going. I'm always watching, looking at Earl, looking at some of the things.
Said Virgil, Frank, Earl, Jamel. Big facts.
I'm always asking questions. I'm always looking.
Look at what the brother RBZ just said, man.
And just saying them.
Virgil Ortiz, Frank Martin, Earl Spence, Jamel Charlo. Come on now. Need I say more?
Test of your career with flying colors. It's an embarrassment of riches in the lightweight division. I know you want to celebrate this win and enjoy it, but any talk of what you want to do next? Can you shed some light on who you want to call out next?
Give them all. We want them all.
On God.
We want them all. We can get Gervonta Davis.
Talk to him.
Devin Haney.
Talk to him.
Those top guys, we ready. I see Rolly in here. Rolly, my guy, we can get it in too. Let's make it happen, man.
Talk to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, a sublime.
What's good? Shout out to the brother Heartless in the building. What's good? Said dang bud couldn't get. Hold on. He said Bud couldn't get an immediate reaction. Hell no. Hey, Heartless, I told you, bro. Hey, look, for all the Terrence Crawford fans asking me, bro, why you ain't do no post-fight reaction to Terrence Crawford versus Avenesian? The same reason why I didn't do a post-fight reaction to Canelo and Avni Yildirim. Think about that. Why the fuck would I do a post-fight reaction to a fight that nobody fucking wanted to see? Come on, bro. Did y'all hear me break down Canelo versus Yildirim? So why would I break down Canelo and Avenesian? Think about that. It don't even make sense. So let's talk about this fight. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Look, this was an incredible matchup just on paper from the start. I want to give kudos to Michelle Rivera because Michelle Rivera is a very skilled fighter, and he didn't have to take this match. 24 years old, 24 and 0, I believe, 14, 15 knockouts. He didn't have to put his undefeated record on the line tonight. And Frank Martin didn't have to do that as well. Frank Martin came into the fight 16 and 0, started boxing late, but as you can see, he's on a fast track. He understands that, look, I'm 27 years old, about to turn 28. I got to go ahead and get in there right now and start fighting that top level competition. And these guys both put everything on the line. A lot of these fighters be afraid to put themselves out there like this because they're afraid if they take a L, it's a major setback for them. They don't want to put themselves in a position of where they can either be embarrassed or lose stock or lose a potential big payday by taking the L early in their career. So I think before we even get into breaking this fight down and what we saw tonight, I think both of these guys deserve a level of respect and a level of appreciation for even giving us this opportunity to see this fight. We still haven't got matchups from guys that's got names in the division already. We still ain't seen Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. We still ain't seen Tank Davis versus Teofimo Lopez. We ain't seen Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson. Granted, he just got the 135, but y'all see the point I'm making. It's fights that we haven't seen yet, and with undefeated guys that Ryan Garcia, who turned down multiple opportunities to fight the top guys, had a mandatory position to fight Devin Haney for his title, but turned it down. It is guys that we hold to a high esteem, who we view as top fighters, who are either champions or not even champions, but still viewed as a championship level fighters who are not taking on this type of competition. So before we even get into breaking down this fight, I need y'all to understand and recognize that we got to give these guys their respect. Rivera took an L tonight, but that man he let his nuts hang and he put it all on the line and he stepped out there. So respect to that guy. But as far as the fight, again, y'all seen the video that I posted earlier about Derrick James, the best coach in the sport of boxing right now, finally receiving his flowers. Look, everybody that's coming in, if I ain't shout you out, I'm cooking right now. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody coming in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. We got 95 people in here right now, but it's 18 likes. Hey, y'all ain't doing the channel justice right now. Make sure y'all hit that like button. But you feel what I'm saying? Going into this fight, I talked about Derrick James being a phenomenal coach, a teacher of the sport. And I talked about how coachable his fighters was, i.e. Frank Martin. Listen to how when they put the mic on Derrick James in between the rounds, listen to how coachable Frank Martin was. Shout out to the OG Mr. Munt in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said Frank Martin made history tonight. He the first man to box out somebody. Hey, bro, you wild. Hey, he said Frank Martin made history tonight. He the first man to box out somebody's boosie fade. Bro, you crazy as hell, dog. Hey, you crazy as hell. Look, shout out to my brother Joey Foster in the building, Loose Bills in the building. Hey, I appreciate all y'all for pulling up. Look, but pay attention to how coachable Frank Martin was in this fight. The instructions that Derrick James was given and how each round you saw Frank Martin go out there and execute those things. Having a coach like Derrick James is invaluable, and having a fighter as a coach like Derrick James that's coachable, that listens to instructions, and that's willing and capable of going out there and actually executing those things, it's a recipe for success. I just spoke on that, and you saw a prime example of that tonight. Frank Martin was sharp, he was patient, he was focused. You immediately saw a difference in hand speed. You saw a difference in footwork. Shout out to my brother Justin Coleman in the building. That's family. He texted me immediately after the first round or mid first round. He said Frank Martin footwork cold, a fool. And I echo those same sentiments. Frank Martin, you saw a difference in the footwork immediately. You saw a difference in hand speed. You saw a difference in the ability to put the opposition on the angle, to be able to turn a guy. Frank Martin turned Michel Rivera multiple times in this fight, put himself in advantageous positions to be able to capitalize on a lack of, I guess you could say, footing or positioning from Rivera. Kept the right, as a southpaw, kept the right foot on the outside of Rivera's lead left foot, so he can be able to line up those straight lefts, which was big tonight. The straight lefts from Frank Martin was big tonight, coming off of the jab. We know that Derrick James coach fighters are heavy on the jab. What did y'all hear Derrick James tell Frank Martin in the first few rounds of the fight? Keep something in his face. Keep that jab in his face. Keep that stick in his face. You heard that in the first 3 to 4 rounds. And you saw Frank Martin continuously stay consistent with the jab, keeping the jab in his face, blinding Rivera, seemingly taking away Rivera's jab, keeping his right foot on the outside of Rivera's left lead foot, and then being able to set up the straight left behind the jab. And then you started to see him bring the overhand left in the combinations. Then you started to see him incorporate the lead right hook. Then you started to see him incorporate the left uppercut, which is what Derrick James was asking for from Frank Martin later on in the fight. And then you seen Frank Martin get a knockdown. I thought Frank Martin could have been, if I had any critique tonight, I felt like Frank Martin could have been a little bit more aggressive in the later rounds. My prediction was on point because I predicted Frank Martin to get a unanimous decision victory. That was my official prediction. However, I did say don't be surprised if you saw a knockdown or two in the fight, which we also saw. I also said don't be surprised if we saw a stoppage by Frank Martin late in the fight. I thought if he was a little bit more aggressive, we could have seen a stoppage. Shout out to the OG Mr. Munn back in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said he got Tank Davis type of reflexes. Big facts. I noticed that. Shout out to the brother Mike Jones in the building. I noticed that. I also said that same thing, Mr. Munn. I said, man, Frank Martin reminded me a little bit of Tank Davis. The way he kind of angled out. You know, you see how he would kind of lean back and kind of duck down and angle out on defense with his chin tucked in. So not necessarily moving his whole body, but just kind of keeping himself just enough out of reach so that he can be able to come right back with a counter shot if he need to. You see Tank Davis do that a lot of times, and I thought that was dope. I thought that was indicative of Derrick James coaching. I thought that was indicative of Frank Martin's athletic ability and just the fact that he's an overall very skilled fighter, man, and I think he's going to be here to stay. Frank Martin is officially a force to be reckoned with in a lightweight division. I think he gives anybody problems. Devin Haney. And these are my favorite fighters. Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson. I would love to see a Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin fight because Shakur Stevenson is incredible when it comes to controlling distance. And Frank Martin is an awesome fighter with distance control, as you've seen tonight, even fighting a guy with longer reach and then also being able to crash the pocket and get on the inside. You feel what I'm saying? This was a great performance by Frank Martin. Michel Rivera, I don't think he has anything to hold his head down about. I think he need to get back in the lab. You know what I'm saying? They need to match him up with somebody in the next fight to get his confidence back up. Rivera did some good stuff. He landed some nice, good right hand, some lead straight right hands. You know, very good counter puncher. But Frank Martin was just clearly the better guy. Shout out to my brother Big Tex 33 in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said Frank footwork and speed is crazy. Facts. I think the speed and the athleticism was definitely on display tonight. Definitely on display. Definitely on display. Said, let me see what y'all saying. He said he definitely give them all problems. Facts. Facts, bruh. This is what we need. Like matchups like this is what we need at the not welterweight, but at the lightweight division. I mean, we need this in boxing, period. We need guys that both that where it's two fighters that see themselves as the best, they undefeated, haven't really faced anybody like each other. We need them to get in the ring and so we can actually find out who is the best. We need guys to step up like this. In my opinion, a performance like this by Frank Martin, even though he isn't a champion yet, you know, I might get criticized for this, but like performances like this you gotta start putting these guys in pound for pound conversation. Now you gotta get a title first, and you gotta fight those guys that we already view as pound for pound. But when you go out there and you perform like this versus an undefeated guy on a level of a Rivera, I hold Rivera to a high esteem. You got to start putting these guys in the conversation. Not necessarily saying that they top 10. I'm not saying that. But you got to start having conversations. Okay, what would it be like with Frank Martin versus Gervonta Davis? What would it look like with Frank Martin versus Ryan Garcia? What would it look like with Frank Martin versus Devin Haney? Frank Martin versus Lomachenko? What would that look like? I got to see those matchups. Said, I went to high school with Frank. I was a senior. He was a freshman. And he still made varsity. Frank been a problem for years. I can see it, bro. He's an incredible athlete. Said, hey, Heartless, you wild, bro. You always hating, dog. Shout out to the OG Mr. Munn back in the super chat. Coming through and showing love. He said Frank Debo Rivera's jab. Yeah, he took it away. He absolutely took Rivera's jab away. With angles. With angles. You know what I'm saying? Said Devin or Tank has never fought anybody slick. Rivera, they have never fought a black fighter. Facts. Hey, read Mike Jones' chat, bro. That's a great point. And I love Devin Haney. Y'all know how I feel about Devin Haney. I love Tank Davis. Y'all know how I feel about Tank Davis. But neither one of them have fought anybody like Michel Rivera. Can any of y'all name a fighter that Tank Davis or Devin Haney have fought like Michel Rivera? Can anybody name anybody that Tank Davis, Devin Haney, or Ryan Garcia fought like Michel Rivera? Nobody. Nobody. They ain't fought nobody like that, bro. They fought come forward guys who throw punches. They ain't fought nobody with that type of skill set yet. They ain't fought nobody like that. So that's when I say that you gotta start having that conversation. Leo Santa Cruz, get the fuck out of here. Hell no. Hell no. Leo Santa Cruz is not slick. Shout out to the brother South Phoenix Boxing. South Phoenix Rising in the building. What's good? Shout out to my brother Alamane Cruz in the building. What's good? Leo Santa Cruz is not slick. Hell no. Hell no. Leo Santa Cruz is not fucking slick. Y'all tripping. Ain't no way in hell. Man, I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Shout out to the brother Eagle City 56 in the building. What's good? Said Santa Cruz is trash to me. I'm not even going to necessarily say that Santa Cruz is trash. He's not a trash fighter. He's a 4-division champion. And I think that's a good win for Tank. But he not on the skill level of Michel Rivera, though. Said, I'm just asking, so is Rivera better than everyone on Tank and Devin resume? I think, I'm going to say this. I think Rivera can beat everybody that Tank fought, and Rivera can beat everybody that Devin fought. Let me say that. I think if you match up Michel Rivera with everybody that Tank fought, and you match him up with everybody that Devin Haney fought, I think he beat him. I think he beat JoJo Diaz. And I think he beat Linares. I think he beat Barrios. I think he do, bro. I think Rivera beat everybody that Devin fought, and I think he beat everybody that Tank fought. That's just my honest opinion. What make you think Rolly Romero beat Rivera, bro? Come on now. That's crazy. What the fuck have Rolly Romero shown you to make you think that he beat Rivera? That shit crazy. No. I'ma tell y'all, bro. What y'all saw tonight, yeah, they big facts, big text. They just talking, bro. What y'all saw tonight was Frank Martin undress an incredibly gifted fighter. So what y'all looking at tonight, y'all like he one dimensional. No, Frank Martin made him that way. He took away his best weapons. Michelle Rivera set up everything behind the jab. He's great. He's a great counterpuncher, and he loved to throw that straight left behind the jab. Frank Martin took that away from him. I'm not saying that this victory automatically put Frank Martin ahead of these other guys. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that them dudes that we naming, the fighters that I love, like Tank Davis, Devin Haney, any of these other guys at lightweight, they ain't fighting guys like Rivera on a regular basis, bro. They not fighting no dudes like that. Rivera is a very skilled fighter, bro. Can box, can fight, he can bang when he want to. He was just in there with a better guy. Shout out to the brother Boss Talk Sports in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, Frank about his business, he believes in his skills. That's facts. That's facts. And he very coachable. Shout out to the brother Ramai King in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, I might be wrong, but this kind of reminded me of when Spence fought Garcia. Everyone was saying Rivera had the experience, but Frank showed his IQ. That's a fact. You not wrong, brother. You not wrong. Said both top 10. They took the fight. Most won't do that. Facts. See, look, I'm going to tell y'all like this. Hey, Justin Coleman, you can say Tank would have stopped Rivera, but I'm telling you that Rivera would have beat everybody that Tank fought. That's facts. But look, all I'm saying is this right here. Hold on, let me see. All I'm saying is this. We can say that these dudes will beat Rivera. We can say that, but they ain't taking that fight, though. Tank could have been fought Rivera. He could have been fought Rivera. He ain't taking that fight. Not saying that he can't win, but they not putting Tank in the ring with these type of guys. They putting him in there with motherfuckers with last name Garcia, Gomez, Hernandez, goddamn. They not putting him in there with nobody that look like that with skill and slickness. Now this dude Garcia, Hector Garcia that he finna fight right now, he got some slickness to him. But he coming up in weight. It's a little different. Shout out to the brother SB in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said Frank Martin's a natural athlete with the best coach in the game. He'll give everyone at 35 a problem. Fort Wayne stand up. Big facts. Talk your shit. That's facts. That's facts. Said, and Frank got power. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, this ain't no knock. Y'all know I'm a huge fan of Devin Haney. A big Devin Haney advocate. The same for Tank Davis. Same for Shakur Stevenson. All I'm saying is a lot of these guys ain't doing what Frank Martin just did. A lot of these guys ain't taking these matchups. That's all I'm saying. A lot of these guys not taking those matchups. They fighting guys that they feel is easy marks. Good stylistic matchups. Frank Martin put it all on the line tonight. Michelle Rivera put it all on the line tonight. That's what I'm saying. I still think right now, if I had to put my money on it, I still think right now Tank Davis is the best fighter between 130 and 140. That's just my personal opinion. But I still got to see the fights, though. I got to see the matchups. Hey, Heartless, The fact that you just made that statement, bruh, I really like. I know you're a Terrence Crawford fan, and I know you be like you a contrarian, so you like to go against the grain of everything motherfucker saying over here. So I get that aspect. But that shit that you just said, I honestly don't believe you think Frank would give Haney, Tank, or Shakur a problem. If you don't believe that I genuinely think that, bruh, I gotta question everything that you say. Like any like perspective or idea or opinion that you have on boxing, bro, I gotta question that shit, bro. Like that shit that you just said, bro. Like now when I see your comments, bro, I might have to skip over your shit. I ain't gonna lie. I might have to skip over your shit. I might have to just see your shit and laugh now, bro. Cause I thought you knew your shit, bro, but you don't know your shit. If you think those dudes be Frank Martin easy, like he just after what you seen tonight, bro, nah. I might have to just look over your shit, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Hey, shout out to my brother Tez Frank. He said, "Oh, to block his ass." Hey, he said Heartless on some shit. Yeah, bro. Hey man, that man on that fentanyl right now, man. That dude on something right now, bro. He got something going on, bro, and it ain't good for him. It ain't good for his health. It ain't good for his health. Said I like Frank, but I seen some flaws Devin would have worked around. Hey, all these fighters got flaws. All these fighters got flaws, bro. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if Devin Haney fought Frank Martin tomorrow, I ain't finna put no bag on Devin Haney. I'ma just sit back and watch the fight and just, hey, whoever win, that's who win. I'm telling you, bro. Hey, you motherfuckers crazy, man. Hey, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. I don't know what fight y'all watch tonight, bro. Y'all tripping. Every fighter got flaws, bro. Every fighter got flaws. Bro, y'all tripping, dog. Some of y'all in here tripping. Said Frank, my dog, but he gets away with turning his opponent with the offhand twisting at the waist. Hey, look, all I'm gonna say is this. After this performance, let's see who gonna be accepted, who gonna be receptive and accept any type of advance from Frank Martin. Let's see that. That's what I want to see. After this type of performance, let's see who gonna step out there and be receptive to a fight with Frank Martin. That's what I want to see. Says Shakur available. Make it happen then. That's what I want to see. I would love to see that. You ain't gonna hear Keyshawn Davis talking about he want to fight Frank Martin. Says Shakur looking for a fight. Hey, I love it. That's a huge fight. Shakur Stevenson, Frank Martin, make it happen. I'll tell you one thing, I ain't betting on that fight. I would say that Shakur Stevenson is the favorite just because I've seen more of him at the elite level. Shakur Stevenson would definitely be the favorite, but I wouldn't put no money on that fight. I wouldn't put no money on that. Shout out to the brother SB back in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, one more thing before I go. Am I tripping or was that a terrible coaching job from Rivera's corner? Them dudes had zero enthusiasm and bad instructions. Facts. I thought about that too, SB. I didn't know if it was because there was a language barrier. But I felt like they wasn't really giving him a lot of instruction. They was just basically like telling him, bro, you losing, bro, and you need to, they were saying you can't do this, you can't do that. You need a knockout. They wasn't really like when you listen to Derrick James' corner, he's actually like he's physically demonstrating, so he's demonstrative, but then he's also like telling them good information. He's also giving them concise instructions on like, no, this is what I'm expecting from you. Well, when he do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't getting that from Rivera's corner. So I might have to agree with you, brother. That it did seem like it was a lackluster job of coaching on their end. Shout out to the OG Mr. Monk back in the super chat coming through and showing love once again. He said, out of all those top guys, Shakur is the most balanced, but he has flaws as well. Facts. Facts. I think out of everybody that we name, I think Shakur might be the most balanced, although I think Gervonta Tank Davis is the most complete fighter. Now, I think there's a difference between being balanced and complete. You know what I'm saying? The reason I say Tank is more complete because he has the power. He has all the athletic ability and all the intangibles like power, speed, athleticism, shit that you can't measure, stuff that you're born with, right? And then he also has the ring IQ. He has he got the jab, he got footwork, he got just overall great boxing ability. Like Tank can do everything. I think he's the most complete fighter. But I think Shakur is the most balanced fighter when you look at his ability to control distance, his defense and his offense. He give you great. I think he's primarily a defensive. I really can't even say he primarily defense because he give you great defense, but then he give you great offense. That's why I say I would agree that he the most balanced because he gonna give you a steady diet of offense, good combinations when he need to, but he always defense first though. Shakur Stevenson is a very, very balanced fighter. And people be saying he running and shit, but he don't move a lot. He don't do a whole lot of lateral movement. All he do is control the distance, take a half step back, and he get right back on your ass. Very balanced fighter. So I would say Shakur probably the most balanced, but Tank Davis is the most complete fighter. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, Frank Martin is really making the case to put his name in that hat. You know what I'm saying? To be on that level. You dig what I'm saying? But I'm finna go ahead and get on up out of here, man. I just wanted to do an immediate post-fight reaction. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to enjoy the rest of y'all night. Hey, Heartless. Hey, bro, you need to put that drink down. Look, I've been sipping a little bit tonight, bro, but I think you had way more than me. And I think you might have had some illegal substances to go with that. Put that shit down, bro. You know what I'm saying? Wipe your nose off because that shit don't look good on you, bro. And quit doing that. Hey, man, stop all that shit, man. Stop that shit, bro. Because I respected your perspective. I thought you knew your shit, but the shit you been saying on this live tonight, bro, I ain't fucking with it, dog. I ain't gonna block you. I ain't gonna ban you. You still a part of the community. We still fuck with you. But man, wipe that shit off your nose, bro, and quit fucking around. Cause that shit ain't a good look, bro. That shit that you was saying tonight, I'm starting to question everything that you'd have never said about boxing. Now I'm starting to question if you just a Terrence Crawford fan or you got some other shit going on. But look, y'all have a great night, man. Contender regime, boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.